What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Week 2 of college football is in the books. So today we're going to be looking at my Week 3 AG poll. All right, so before we get completely started here, though, if you are new here, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, down in the comment section, let me know your thoughts on my top 25 and let me know your top 25. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Starting off at number 25, we have Iowa. Haven't really done anything too impressive, but have a solid win this week over Iowa State, and they're going to be solid as always. So at 25, I've got Iowa. 24, UCLA. They've got 2 solid wins on their books. Kind of handled San Diego State this week. Then they beat Coastal Carolina last week. Not bad. Number 23, a new addition here, Washington State. They replaced Wisconsin for me. I had them on top 25, but they beat them today. So got to give them the benefit of the doubt here. 22, South Carolina. Kind of got handled by North Carolina in week 1, but I'm a firm believer in Shane Beamer, in Spencer Rattler. They did pretty good last year, so I kind of have hope they can kind of get back to that this season, but we'll see. 21, we got Clemson. Have looked a little shaky. This week kind of started off slow, but kind of exploded in the second half. I'm going to give Dabo the benefit of the doubt here. Until they lose a couple more games, I'm going to keep believing in Clemson. Yes, they did lose to Duke, but Duke wasn't bad last year. So Clemson, don't forget, they won the ACC championship this year. Sorry, last year. We'll see if they do this year. I don't know. 20, I've got Tennessee. Didn't have a very impressive game this week. They won at home, but a little shaky. I think they said the lowest amount of points scored by Josh Heupel's offense at Tennessee at home. So I don't know. We'll see. They're not going to be quite as good as they were last year, but should still be competitive. 19, Miami had a big, impressive win over Texas A&M. Tyler Van Dyke finally looking like who he looked like a couple years ago. If he can hit, they could be a challenger here in the ACC. I don't know. We'll see. Mario Cristobal won at Oregon, so why not at Miami? 18, Oregon. Bo Nix, still solid. Oregon's going to be solid this year, but kind of waiting for them to beat somebody, you know what I'm saying, to make that jump. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Hopefully, they can get a big win here in a few weeks and bump them up the rankings. 17, Ole Miss beat Tulane, but Tulane was without their quarterback, so not as impressive as a win as it could have been, but a solid win nonetheless. 16, North Carolina. Struggled, went in overtime against Appalachian State. If you remember last year, both these teams combined for like 60-plus points in the fourth quarter. So you know when North Carolina and Appalachian State match up, it's going to be a good game. But North Carolina beat South Carolina last week, so that's why they're still at 16. 15, Kansas State, the Big 12 champions last year. Don't forget that they won it, not TCU. They're going to be solid again this year. Should be a top 15, top 20-ish team all year, in my opinion. 14, Oregon State. DJU still looking good in Oregon State. Whenever they play some Pac-12 teams, which the Pac-12 this year is a gauntlet, I'm going to be curious to see how they do and finish in the pecking order. 13, Duke. Hey, they had a big win again this week. Knocked off Clemson last week, if you don't remember. Hey, Duke might be for real. I don't know. We're going to see. If they can keep winning, they're going to slowly rise above some of these teams that start losing and will eventually be in the top 10 if they can keep winning. 12, LSU. Didn't look too good last week against Florida State, but had a good win this week. I don't know why I keep saying this year. Had a big win this week. Not necessarily playing any competition, but a nice bounce back win for them after Florida State loss. 11, Utah. If Cam Rising's back, this is, in my opinion, a top 5 team probably in the country. But without Cam Rising, going to be pretty tough without Cam Rising. They struggled today against Baylor. That game honestly should have went to overtime if Baylor didn't throw the ball for some reason on 3rd and 15 with a minute and a half left in the game. I don't know what they were thinking. Threw a pick, and that kind of sealed the deal there. But until Cam Rising's back, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical on them. 10, Alabama. This is surprising. Even as a Texas fan, this surprised me. Texas kind of handled Alabama. Now, there were some scares there, but I don't know. Is this going to be like Alabama was last year? They're going to have a few losses. We'll have to wait and see. I still think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the SEC. The SEC is a little down this year. But where will they fall in the SEC? I don't know. To be determined. We'll find out. 9, Penn State. One of the challengers in the Big Ten. You got Michigan. You got Ohio State. You got Penn State. I'm going to be curious to see how those 3 teams end up shaking out. But as of right now, I got Penn State at 9. Number 8, Notre Dame. Another week. Sam Hartman looks good in the Notre Dame offense. They're going to have a few tough games in their schedule, but I think this could be a playoff team. I don't know. We'll see. Them and USC, can't wait for that one. Number 7, Washington. Washington looks better and better each week. Michael Penix Jr. can play. And this team, sneaky playoff contender. Watch out for Washington. 6, Ohio State. They haven't really done anything wrong, but haven't done anything too impressive either. While they haven't really had the opportunity to, quarterback still has weapons. You've got Marvin Harrison Jr., so you got a shot. But at 6, I've got Ohio State. 5, this might be controversial, but I've got Georgia. Carson Beck, I'm still waiting to be a believer, and we're really not going to know for a while. I think they play South Carolina this week. I think they do. So if they can handle South Carolina, I'll be a believer. But their schedule in itself is pretty weak. Besides that, they don't really play too many teams till the SEC championship. So I'm going to knock them for that until they're number 1 at the end of the season, probably. But for right now, I got them number 5. Number 4, I got Florida State. Florida State beat LSU pretty handily last week. So once again, I got them at 4. Number 3, Texas, my biggest riser of the week. Looked impressive against Alabama. And I've been skeptical on saying Texas is back, but they may officially be back now. We'll see. They're probably going to drop a game here in a couple weeks to Baylor or something, a team they shouldn't lose to. But for now, Texas, the best win of the season so far, and probably the best win anybody's going to have this season if things play out to shape. So at number 3, Texas. At number 2 and number 1, I've got the 2 teams that, in my opinion, return the most from last year and return the best pieces. 2, I've got USC. Put up almost 50 points in the first half against Stanford today. And when you have the best player in college football, Caleb Williams, you got a shot. Number 1, Michigan. They return a ton from last year's playoff team. And in my opinion, are the favorite to win it this year. They just have too much coming back not to be the favorite, in my opinion. But that is my top 25. Let me know your top 25 down in the comments section. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. So until next time, AG out.